Hello and welcome to Not Now in Theaters. I'm your host, Will Turntail. For this episode, we're talking 1992's Batman Returns. This gloomy sequel rankled some audiences at release and divides opinion to this day. And since it takes place at Christmas, this will be our holiday episode. A quick statement before we begin. Making films is hard, and you have to respect that. This is a fan's blog, so any criticisms are meant to be constructive. Alright, with that taken care of, let's go to the show. Batman Returns 1992 review. Too dark for McDonald's, but not my childhood self. After the smash success of Batman '89, and before the neon light experiments gone wrong known as Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, Tim Burton and Michael Keaton teamed up again for what feels like a somewhat forgotten sequel, Batman Returns. Gone was the Prince soundtrack and the star power of Jack Nicholson, but the Tim Burton darkness that brought maturity to '89 gets cranked up several notches in this 1992 follow-up. Tim Burton, who I'm assuming you know well from films like Edward Scissorhands and directing the previous franchise entry, Batman '89, didn't want to come back for a sequel. However, after negotiating for creative control, Burton was in. He brought in some familiar collaborators on the crew, and Daniel Waters came in as the new screenwriter to replace Sam Hamm, whose name sounds like something out of Dr. Seuss but does appear to be a real person. And Daniel Waters, of course, is the writer of cult classic Heathers, a film we'll get to at some point on this podcast. It's also said that Wesley Strick made an uncredited rewrite, helping the Penguin with his master plot. The movie was given a $50 to $80 million budget. It would bring back reportedly $266.8 million at the box office, and let's not forget all those VHS rentals and sales. Still, that return on returns was seen as a failure because Batman '89 brought in $411.6 million. And that film was a phenomenon for merchandising everywhere. I mean, who doesn't own one of those black shirts or stickers with that kick-ass yellow/gold Batman logo on it, right? This box office disappointment makes me imagine someone sitting there like an outraged parent bashing the movie, asking, "Why couldn't you be as successful as your older brother?" And there's Tim Burton, sitting on a stool in front of them, taking all the heat for it and pleading with them to appreciate his creation for what it was. You see, the film left critics mixed, and some audiences confused over just how bleak the movie could be. And I do mean bleak. The film famously angered McDonald's over a toy tie-in, as they felt it was unsuitable for kids. They had to get their best PR game out to handle the backlash. Or should we say batlash, ha 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 ha. You can read more about this in the article linked in the transcript, by the way. But none of this controversy stopped my dad. I vividly remember him taking me to see this movie in theaters, but I haven't revisited it for approximately 25 years. The film divides opinion among fans these days. You can find many calling it the best Batman of all time, but other critics, not so much. But now that the quartet of pre-Christopher Nolan Batman movies is available on HBO Max, and because YouTuber Minty of Minty Comedic Arts recommended giving this film a second try, I decided to rewatch it. Oh, and it's Christmas time as we record this, and yes, this movie takes place very much over the holiday and has lots of snow. And apparently one early draft of the script even had some assault rifle wielding Santas. So, consider this our Christmas special. Alright, with all of that, is Batman Returns a good movie? The plot of Batman Returns. I like to imagine this film has an alternate title, 3 villains and a conflicted hero. Last seen dispatching the Joker, this time the Caped Crusader has to foil the schemes of ruthless businessman Max Shreck and the Penguin. Complicating matters is Catwoman, the alter ego of Shreck's former secretary, Selina Kyle, who seeks revenge against him. As Batman and Catwoman square off by night, unbeknownst to them, their alter egos, Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle, court by day. The film stars Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne/Batman, Danny DeVito as Oswald Cobblepot/Penguin, Michelle Pfeiffer as Selina Kyle/Catwoman, Christopher Walken as Max Shreck/Nothing, and Michael Goff as Alfred Pennyworth, Batman's butler. Fun facts. The film also includes little appearances from Pee Wee Herman himself, Paul Reubens, and frequent skinny guy Doug Jones from The Shape of Water. You can read the rest of the main cast in the transcript. So now that you understand the plot, let's talk about what I liked about the film and what I thought could have been improved. I'll give out some points for what worked and deduct some for what could have been better, and we'll total it up at the end. Good thing number 1, strong production values, plus 3 points. Everything from the design of the Batmobile to the 1930s aesthetic, like vintage microphones at press conferences or the charcoal pinstripe suits and trench coats, creates a full-world Gotham, a comic meshing into real life without heavy CGI. And this Gotham looks straight out of the film Metropolis, with its tall statues and vintage lettering. Danny Elfman's colorful soundtrack brings what I'm dubbing the brooding and hijinks sound of his Batman scores. Think moaning organs and tinkling xylophone, among other instruments. The score lends an enjoyable continuity between Returns and '89. Lastly, we have to applaud the props of the Penguin. He cruises around in a big yellow duck boat like a ride at a demented Disneyland. It towers like a giant plastic SUV that floats on water. And he carries an array of black and white spiral umbrellas that look like tools to hypnotize you. How exactly he builds such things in his dark lair is beyond me. If only he'd been born in the time of social media. He could have been a free-building content creator showing off his latest wacko creations instead of becoming a supervillain. I'd definitely have signed up for his Patreon. Good thing number 2, fun performances, plus 6 points. Michael Keaton returns as Batman, and despite the angry fan backlash to his casting in the '89 movie, he works well here yet again as more of an everyman Batman who gets by on gadgets over physical prowess. And the quiet intensity he brings to his Bruce Wayne scenes as he stares into his TV monitor to see the Penguin's newest threat or discuss his predicament with his butler, Alfred, works. Michelle Pfeiffer's performance as Catwoman is the best in the movie. Her wild-eyed, am I dead or am I dreaming madness approach was, shall we say, perfect. Danny DeVito is not given the best lines, but his plotting Penguin is as vile as his grotesque makeup paints him to be. Lastly, we get Christopher Walken as evil businessman Max Schreck, who glides along looking the part, bringing his New York manner to an evil Gotham magnate. Good thing number 3, dark fantasy, plus 4 points. We have Tim Burton to thank for making Batman '89 a commercial success that also brought the Dark Knight himself back to respectability on the screen. It took a grittier tone like the 80s comics of the day, such as Frank Miller's Batman Year One or The Dark Knight Returns. Both recommended reading. We have themes like the twisted love brewing between Catwoman and Batman. And rather than miraculous interventions, bad things actually happen, like the Penguin murdering an innocent woman who Batman cannot save in time. And you wonder if Catwoman's ultra-tight black and stitches getup is something they made for the film or just nabbed out of a BDSM store. Yet the film start might be at the top of the movie's naughty list. The Penguin's parents, disappointed at their baby's deformities, slip him into a basket and chuck it into the river. And winning the award for the most savage moment goes to the scene where the Penguin retaliates by biting a man in the nose. It was a scene that made me wriggle away in my theater seat as a young boy, I'm telling you. But what do you expect? Villain Max Schreck is named after the famous German actor Max Schreck, who played Count Orlok in the original Nosferatu. No doubt the nod to a vampire movie is intentional. Alright, so now let's get into the things that didn't work well. Not as good thing number 1, questionable writing, minus 3 points. The overall writing of Batman Returns isn't bad in principle, but suffers from flawed execution of the details. For example, before Selina Kyle's transformation into Catwoman, alone in her apartment, she speaks out loud about her failures and dissatisfaction with herself. It's unnatural and just there to tell the audience she isn't having a good time. It's lazy storytelling. The movie could work this in subtly, and the audience would get the idea. Then there's the supernatural cat resurrection / transformation of Selina Kyle into Catwoman, which you can watch on YouTube with the link in the transcript. And I'll pause here to say we will hit some spoilers, so use the chapter skip if you would rather not hear them. After falling several stories to her death, Selina hits the ground with a thud. Her body goes cold, a cat licks her face, and to the sound of eerie music, a swarm of alley cats runs around her body. As if this is some kind of resurrection ritual, her eyes flash white, her body twitching. One of the kitties chews aggressively on her fingers, drawing blood. And she rises. This scene confused me as a kid and still does as an adult. Were the alley cats coming to eat her? Or did they want to help her? Even in the context of a superhero movie, it's odd. And to be fair to Michelle Pfeiffer, her acting in that scene kicks ass. If the movie wanted to keep it supernatural, fine. However, the script could have made Selena Kyle's transformation more logical. She has a pet cat, but otherwise, there's no connection between her and this pack of wild felines that come out of nowhere to rescue her from certain death and imbue her with 9 lives. Selena could have fed local cats outside her work or apartment, and then their strange supernatural resurrection might be some creature bond the audience can roll with. Instead, this stereotypical lonely cat lady with no partner decides to sew a black leather suit and become a Catwoman of all things. Some of you may say I'm overthinking Batman, and fair enough, but while I like the creepy cat magic scene, I would have liked some context as to why this goes down. Lastly, the dialogue can be trite, with lines like, "I am Catwoman, hear me roar," or cringeworthy, such as when the Penguin refers to Catwoman as "just the pussy I've been looking for." No wonder McDonald's complained. Goofiness, -2 points. Sometimes the movie is just plain silly, such as the Penguin's henchpeople, his hapless Red Triangle gang. They're a bunch of clownish goons who look like villains from the 60s Batman TV show. The gang practices some sort of clown capoeira fighting style. You can watch a demonstration on YouTube with a link in the transcript. Their fighting seems to alternate between punching people in the stomach or aggressively patting them on the back, like a childhood bully giving noogies. And Batman gets rid of a huge Red Triangle gang member by comically attaching dynamite to him. The thug presumably explodes off screen, which is very Wile E. Coyote from the Looney Tunes cartoons. I'd get it if the film had a Pee Wee Herman vibe, but this is the movie with the dark black goop blood falling out of the Penguin's mouth. So let's have a gang we can fear here. Alright, so adding it up, Batman Returns scores 8 arbitrary points. On my scale of let's not watch, should I watch, or go watch this movie, I will award it my should I watch rating. The action in the film feels flat by today's standards. Because the movie has to balance out screen time among 4 protagonist villains, it lacks depth and tension in some moments. But I can't help but like this movie. You have to give it credit for trying to explore twisted themes over lazily cashing in on Batman 89's success. Pfeiffer's performance in particular is a lot of fun, and I love how 89 and Returns blend some of the campiness of Batman from the 1960s TV show with the comic book grittiness of the Frank Miller comics of the day. Some audiences won't enjoy how dreary, unrealistic, and downright mean the movie can be. But if you're a fan of Batman or Tim Burton misfits trying to make it in society movies, maybe there's something in this one for you too. Thank you so much for listening to my thoughts on Batman Returns, directed by Tim Burton. You can watch the trailer with a link in the transcript thanks to DC. If you like this episode, please leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Reviews really go a long way for channels like ours. If you've got a comment or a question, you can find me at willturntail.com or search for Not Now in Theaters on our Blue Sky, Instagram, or Facebook pages. This podcast episode is a production copyright of Overegged Media, LLC, located in Sacramento, California. Reference photos linked in the transcript are copyrighted by the Internet Movie Database. This review's factual information was gathered through online sources like Wikipedia, IMDb, or interviews. Misrepresentations and errors are possible, but unintentional. Introduction music, Neon Laser Horizon by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0 license. Exit music, Canon ND for 8-bit synths by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0 license. Additional music, Galactic Rap by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0 license. Goodbye for now.